evening, everybody. My name is David Dulac, but that's not very important. I'm the VFX supervisor. And Houdini and side effects. So, first of all, we're going to show you the showreel of Mikros Animation. And then I'll talk a bit about Tiger and all the company. Thank you.
Good news, you've got me.
So Mikros Animation is doing animation, as the name is saying. We've done, during the period of Tiger Apprentice, we've done 6 movies. I mean, you can switch. I mean, there is number, 8,000 frame, whatever, etc., etc. You can read of it. But what I want to say, it's people. Number are great, but people are better, and that's a big family. We, as I said, we deliver 6 movies nearly in the same years, and that's a lot of artists, a lot of love, a lot of connection, production with production, artists, IT. It's a group of people, and it's a lot of love and love for the work. Tiger Apprentice start was iffy, I mean, like everybody, we all caught that virus and had in, right at the beginning of the production, and of course, confinement. I mean, everybody. You all lived it, so. And it was very hard, but, as I say, with the people at Mikros, and when I'm talking people about at Mikros, I'm also talking about, surrounding people, crew management, IT. They did a fantastic job, and within 2 days, everybody was working from home. But that wasn't ideal, the client, Paramount, which I want to thank, Paramount. Was in LA. The director, Raman, was mostly in Hong Kong. And the production designer, great production designer, Christophe Lautrette, was in LA. So we had to, like everybody, but we had to reinvent ourselves and work. The Tiger Apprentice, the script was full of effect, and it was actually where there was the most, the movie, the animation film where there was the most effects, but the effects needed to be graphics. That's what they wanted, really graphic and controllable. So there was a big challenge. But thankfully we had Justin was part of it, and the FX supervisor Ashraf Ayadi, and fantastic guys, and he did a great job. And yeah, what else can I say about the movie? I mean, that was a fantastic experience. We've done. I was the base of other movie, shading wise, maybe not, FX wise, but it was a base of other movies that Mikros have done. The base shading and lighting came from Tiger Apprentice. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you that much. Just want to thank you, and I'm going to let Justin going to speak, because he's the one who is doing, I'm the one who is talking, so it's better to listen to the one who is doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. So yeah, let me quickly just introduce myself first. Thank you for coming. I see some friendly faces here. My name is Justin. I've been using Houdini for almost 10 years now, so I'm still a baby. And I've been an FX artist for, I would say, almost 7 years. And actually, Tiger's Apprentice was my first feature animated experience. Before that, I was doing VFX and commercial, and now I'm still doing VFX and commercial. But yeah, like David say, Mikros Animation is first of all the people that are in it, and I think my part of my heart is still with the Tigers team. There is some of them here. Thank you, guys. First of all, because not everybody has seen Tiger's Apprentice, I will show you the teaser of the movie, so we can know what we are talking about.
Tom, are you okay?
Do I know you, man?
No, but I've been watching over you your whole life.
Who are you?
I know it's cool. Your grandmother was a guardian, sworn to protect humanity. Now the duty of protecting it is yours.
Haha, very funny, right?
It's time to start your training.
Oh, it's on. Whoa! Okay, hold on. No. Oh! Wait, how did you know I was gonna survive?
I didn't.
Is that a dragon?
Show off.
It will be my honor to guide you.
Wait, we're getting dim sum?
Not everything is what it seems, kid. We're Zodiac. Sworn to protect the Guardian.
Who's the featherweight?
Hi, I'm Tom, lactose intolerant and guardian of a Steph Curry rookie card. What?
Feel the power inside you.
Oh, yeah! Wait, you don't talk too, do you? It's about to be on.
We need you for what's coming.
Who said kids can't fly? And I hope you ain't afraid to be on. I don't know if I can be who you need me to be.
Your grandma believed in you. It's in your blood.
I've waited 1,000 years for this moment.
I am the Guardian. We've got this. Zodiac up!
Oh yeah!
You know that it's coming.
Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, it was a very heavily FX-oriented movie. I don't got the number, but I think it was like almost half of the shot got FX in them. And so we needed to do some look dev before the actual production, because, yeah, like we wrote here, there is ton of FX and tons of small magical effects and they needed to fit in the world that we were building, and also to fit together. So yeah, there was like four months, I think, before the actual beginning of the production, where we only did look dev. There were a lot of back and forth with Christophe Lautret and with the concept artist on Paramount side to find the common visual language that we wanted for our effects. So during this presentation, I will show you some simplified version, along with some tips and method that I like to use and I still use to this day, even if I'm not doing animation. You will see that most of the effects that I will show you have similarities in the design, but also on a technical level. Basically, what I like to say most of the time when doing magical stylized effect is that everything is just a big animated noise and that's it. So, let's start with the bad guys. This is the Yaogwai. You saw them in the teaser. They are my favorites. I really like this one. He's a good guy. What you are seeing here is the final version that we presented to Paramount of the Yaogwai, but there was a lot of iteration. Some of them were like too creepy, some of them were not really fitting in the world that we were building, and also we had to take into account that we knew we would see some of the Yaogwais in close-up, but sometimes we will need to do the same effect with 1,000 of Yaogwai. There was actually some shot with crowds of Yaogwai, so we needed something that was simple but impactful, and we ended up with these three main FX layers that I will talk to you about. And the main one is the 2D stripes of Smoky. Here you can see one of the last concepts that we received from Paramount, and that really helped us shape the effects of the Yaogwai. Here is a play blast of one of them, where you can see really the 2D-like shapes. We treated these shapes of smoke like if it was fur on the creature. I will show you a simplified version of this setup and how we did it using our friend, the pig head. Let's see that on the pig head. So, the first thing we had to focus on was providing one single procedural stripe of smoke. So it's really an easy setup. Like I said, an animated noise, and that's it. So we start with a simple curve with a varying P scale. That's what you can see here. And then we just put a noise that slide along the stripes. And one of the things that we did here, you can see it, here, is that I'm working on actually a static mesh, but what I'm animating is the rest position of this mesh. So it looks like the noise is animated in space, but the actual geometry is not moving. And it's easier to work with that. And it's a method I'm almost always using. I call that working on a deformed rest position. And yeah, it's easier after that to do some post-simulation effect if you want to. And lastly, I'm using this attribute that I put on the stripe to drive the alpha channel, or to kill some part of the geometry, and just with a simple Laplacian blur at the end, you get this nice sharp edges that look like 2D effects, but are not. And then, once that is done, because it's fully procedural, You can just do that on multiple curves, using the idea of the curves as a seed for the randomness of the smoke, and that's it. You have your effect. And after that, it's just adding some secondary layer on top of that. Here, for example, I'm emitting some particle on the border of my shapes, and you have it. And yeah, here I'm actually using a little tip that I use almost all the time to get a nice rotation post-simulation of my particle. Here you can see it first. There is no rotation, and then I'm just adding some afterwards, so it looks like a small bit of ashes without the need to do complex Vellum simulation, or I don't know. What I'm doing is just using the idea of the particle to give them random maximum rotation, and just using their age, so they will simply slowly rotate, multiplied by the age. Yeah, and it's a technique that I use all the time. And so it is the Yaogwai setup. And yeah, of course, after that I emitted some smoke and everything. Okay, let's stay with the bad guys, with Lou. Lou is our big bad guy. It's the final boss. And she is actually a Yaogwai. And I will explain that here. This is, again, one of the early look dev concept that we created and that we used to validate a look for Lou. And what I want to say when I say Lou is a Yaogwai is that you have the same FX layer inside of her body. Here, what you are seeing is a stylized 2D kind of shape plus the englobing smoke and the little emitted sharp shapes that are coming out of her body. The idea that we wanted to show is that where the Yaogwai, the demons, they are chaotic-like, they are animal-like, she got the same body, but she is calmer. She is an evil, smart person. So I will show you a bit of Houdini once again. First, I focused on, like for the Yaogwai, on a single stylized shape for the tentacle. I think this setup was like the first I worked on in Mikros Animation. I think it was even like first day I arrived at Mikros Animation, I did this kind of thing for Lou. The first version were like heavily remeshed particle with directly a simulation, and it was not working very well at the end, so we simplified that. So what I do here, again, I'm keeping it procedural, so I just have one attribute that I want to loop, so I call that the global animation, and it's just going from 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. And I will just use that to reshape the curve U here of my curve, the maximum value of the curve. And so there is this attribute going along the curve, and I'm actually after that using that as the p-scale for my sweep. So what we got at the end is just the p-scale making it appear, and we never really deleting any of the curve. So everything is everything got a constant topology, and it's easier to control after that to point deform if we want to. And when we have one curve, once again, we can just do exactly the same with some randomness with a scattered curve, and we can even draw some curve manually. And what you are seeing here with the low poly body is to show what could the animation department provide us. So with an animation like that, with a low poly version of the body, they could give us some indication and some artistic direction that they wanted us to do after that. And when we have that, we just add some secondary layer to give it a more creepy look. And so here you see I'm adding small sharp 2D shapes. What I'm doing here is just emitting curves on the body when the tentacles are passing by on a simple pop network. And since it's a pop network, now the curve have an age attribute, and I'm using this age attribute to drive the thickness of the curve and to drive the alpha channel of the curve. So it just, curve with varying thickness and a varying alpha, and that's it. And I'm using all these attributes I created to emit some smoke on top of that, and using the tangent of the curve, I can create a fake velocity field to have a spiral shape inside of my smoke. So that's it for Lou, and that's it for the bad guy. So let's talk about the good guys now. This is Hu, H-U-E. He's our tiger, the famous tiger. We got 12 zodiacs in the movie, actually. A tiger is one of them. And each one of the zodiac got his own FX design. But there are similarities. All of them have this colorful aura around them when they're using the power, and stylized 2D shapes going out of them. And because the tiger is the more energetic one, we added also some lightning. And I want to talk a bit more about this little crawling lightning on him, because I think it's my favorite setup that I got to work on, because there is a little story to it. I like stories too. I will tell you about it. Here, you can see it better. It is an early concept that we did along with the lightning, and you can see better how everything is just basically very, very simple little effects put on top of each other to give depth to the effect. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Everything is just basically a big animated noise. I will not come back to this, but here is an example of how we did the stripes of the tiger on Crag. So I wanted to talk about the little lightning element. That was also made during the look development of the movie, and on the team during this period, there was a guy that just ended working on the Sonic movie, actually, the first one. So he did a lot of lightning, a lot of electric art. So we thought, okay, it will be easy. We just got to take what you did on Sonic and we will do exactly the same, and that's it. We don't have to work. So we did that, and it was looking good, but it was not looking like what we wanted. It wasn't stylized at all. It was good for VFX, but it wasn't good for our movie. So we had a bit of difficult time on this one. And one day, I was scrolling on TikTok, because fun existed at that moment. And I stumbled upon a very quick tutorial on a guy that did 2D effects. And he explained that when doing 2D effects of lightning, there is 3 parts to it, and he liked to think about the lightning's effect as energy going from point A to point B, and then having a whipping effect as the energy passes by, and lastly, crumbling onto itself and leaving some particle runs. So I thought, I was in my bed at that moment, I thought, oh, I should do that procedurally in Houdini, in 3D, and that's it. So we did it. We just did that, and it was actually pretty simple. It's just a noise on the curve. First, we build a simple electric out procedurally with the trip out that I said earlier, energy going from A to B, and then the whipping movement, and then there is a meshing of this curve, and the lightning tear up on itself, leaving nothing. And because this is just one curve, the only information that you have to give it is the frame of apparition and the duration. And so we could just scatter some lines around, give them random apparition frame, and that was it. We have our effect and our little crowing lightnings. Okay, I will not have a lot of time to talk about everything, so I will go quickly over them, but I really wanted to talk about this sequence because it's one of my favorite sequences since it's so stylized. What you are seeing here is a combination of very simple effects for the phoenix and for the little particles, and a lot of compositing. Compositing department did an awesome job on that. They took everything they can take as information from us, so we give them a lot of attribute to be used as AOV, as render path, and yeah, what you are seeing here, the little almost paint stroke is all made in compositing. What we gave them was really different than that. So I just wanted to show you that, along with some tips that we use for the Phoenix here. Earlier, I told you about working in a deformed rest space. Yeah, a deformed rest space. That's what I meant here. You see, on the left, what I did is almost like working on UV space. Each of the little curves, I just rebuild the rest position of them and put them in space statically. So we could just make energy flow all along the curve and all along the strands, even if the Phoenix was moving around freely. Yeah, I always have these static shapes that I can work on. And since they are 2D shapes, obviously if I turn around the Phoenix, you see nothing. So the shapes always have to face the camera. And so to do that, it was pretty simple. We just took the camera and put an attribute on the curve that is called the up attribute, that is automatically recognized by Houdini. And so it will just always face the camera. And I didn't say it earlier, but we did that for everything, basically. The demon, you see, the little stripes that they have, that's the same thing. Yes, this is made, I think, on all the setups that are like that with 2D shapes. And we ended this sequence on the bad guy's visual language, because this is not only a dream, this is a nightmare. And so at the end here, you can see we end on the visual language of Lou. On the left, this is the first appearance of Lou. You can see the dark branches, the green color, the ashes, and we did the same on the Phoenix. And so what it told us with the FX is that Lou is gonna take control of the Phoenix in a way. So it's foreshadowing. Quickly, I will just show you some more different little magical power that I really like to do and really like to see. Here you can see the effects on Mistral, really powerful zodiac, the zodiac of the dragon. when she is flying and when she is transforming, you get always these 2D shapes, but very curvy, very elegant. But when she is using her power, her laser, this is more broken shapes and almost like electrical shapes, more broken. Always, it's just animated noise. There is no simulation here beside the particle and beside the smoke, but these are secondary. Also, you can see there is some similarities between some of the power, because we wanted through the effects to tell a little story. And here you can see on the left the grandma power. This is Tom and his grandma. And you can see that they get a similar shape to the power because they are related. It's kind of a flower shape. But grandma, she is more experienced and she controls her power. So the effect is very symmetrical, whereas the power of Tom is more chaotic and he really don't control it. So it's more like, it's always this flower shape, but more broken. And also, because Tom is the tiger's apprentice, he get the color of the tiger. Okay, oh, spoiler, sorry, spoiler, this is the end. Sorry, guys. Okay, the bad guys, they lose at the end, but you already know that. It's a movie. The bad guys, they lose at the end and Lucy die. Sorry, I should have said it earlier for the one who didn't saw it. But it's actually one of my favorite setup on the movie. Also, I think it's my favorite shot of the movie. And also here, compositing did a fantastic job. I will just show you a simplified version of this disintegration and end of that. So this effect was built in 3 parts. First, she is gaining a lot of power, so she has a green aura, powerful around them, almost like when the Zodiac are using the power, but more evil. And she got some green lightnings on her arm. Again, the same setup we did for the tiger, but this time green for the bad guys. And then she slowly disintegrates, turn into ashes. You can see there is first big chunks coming out of her. She is losing her smoke, and she turns into almost pepper-like little surfaces, and then into nothing, and she's no more. The good guys, they win. Okay, I will talk to you about this part here, the disintegration, and you will see it's actually a pretty simple setup. He is built in 3 parts. Okay, so first I had to prepare my disintegration. So first solid prefracture, that's what you see, almost like doing RBD destruction. I'm using here a Boolean fracture to have some interesting shapes. Then, when I'm happy with that, a secondary prefracture, but this time only on the surface, because I want to make it look like paper or ashes. And then what you are seeing at the end is an attribute that is actually representing the border, the distance from the border of the geometry, because I knew that at the end I wanted to make the little shapes disappear starting from the border. So I had to make this attribute for later. Then, the second part, I'm starting to add animation. Sorry about that. I'm losing my voice. So I just created a mask and make it propagate along the shape. And I'm using this mask as a multiplier, along with random rotation value and random translation value, like I did for the ashes earlier, you know, with the random rotation multiplied by an attribute that I did here. So no simulation for now, because we want full control of the beginning of the destruction. So here, since there is no simulation, I can also manually move things around if I want, and we can easily art direct the beginning of our destruction and even have it validated by the client if we want to. After that, okay, there is this part here. I'm starting to use simulation. So using the attribute that I created earlier, the propagation mask, I'm using that as a threshold to activate the Vellum simulation. There is no constraints. No, I didn't need that for this one. So I'm just progressively activating the Vellum simulation with the initial velocity that I gave them and just a wind. And what you are seeing here as an attribute going from blue to red is actually something that I really like to use all the time, is the activation time of our particle. It's almost like the age of the particle, but it's not the age, it's just the time they spent activated. And I saved this attribute because I knew I will be using it afterward to add secondary noise or to emit some particle, emit some smoke. And what you are seeing here is actually the use of this attribute to remap the border that I created earlier. So I'm taking the border, the attribute of the border, and remapping it using my activation time to make it look like there is an attribute going from the border to the center of each pieces. And so I can just delete the geometry or add a secondary noise post-simulation on that and emit some ashes. And we have it. That's our destruction. Very simple setup. And on top of that, you just had secondary layers, the smoke, some advected particle, advected ashes. Here you can see there is still the stylized smoke shapes that are coming out of her. And also we gave a lot of attribute to the surfacing department, so they could add this glowing greenish effect, and it could also be done in compositing afterward using AOV from our attribute. And that's it. Thank you very much.